I don't know what the hell's going on tonight, but we are back in the mix after a brief tech glitch.
Yes,
Back
we
live.
yes we are.
Back.
We're back. We're back. We're back. All right. So sorry about that. We're back, and looks like they. So your boys did hit me again. Um, so we're on your Facebook, but we're not on my Facebook. So I don't know what's going on, but it is what it is. Here we are. So finish about the changes in your Raider Nation situation.
All right. So for those of you that were following the story, great deal of change happened league wide, but as it pertains to the Raiders, um, they let go of the general manager as well as the head coach. And now in the interim roles, you have head coach Antonio Pierce and GM Champ Kelly. And the Raiders showed up and had by far their best performance of the season against the New York Football Giants, uh, ending that game victorious with a score of 30-6. And it was nothing less than amazing to see a rookie come out with so much poise and really get out and perform in Aiden O'Connell. So kudos to the Raiders. And, as they face yet their second New York team this upcoming weekend against the Jets, I'm hoping that they can continue to ride this wave that they're currently on. Max Crosby had a dominant game. The pass rush was present and dominant, and that's what we need from the Raiders. So, man, I'm excited to see the Raiders kind of turn over a new leaf, and hopefully it will continue and be something that's sustainable for the Raiders.
Okay, so just want to point out something. So he mentioned the rookie quarterback, Aiden O'Connell, had really good numbers 16 of 25 for 209 yards, no touchdowns, but also no interceptions, and a 90.2 quarterback rating. And that was by far his highest QBR of the season in his first start. And again, they were 30-6 over the Giants. He mentioned that they face another New York team this week. So the Jets will be visiting the Raiders. It'll be part of our Week 10 matchups in a second, but the Jets are going to go to the Raiders. Let's look at the new power. Well, hold on. Let's go over the results real quick because there were some other results that mattered. The Eagles beat the Cowboys, so that means that the Cowboys lost again, and it also means that they dropped under us in the power rankings because they had a bye the week before, so they didn't have a chance to lose. The Bengals beat the Bills in the battle of the quarterbacks that I don't really care for, Burrow and Allen, and the Chiefs beat the Dolphins in what some are billing incorrectly as the AFC Championship preview. You cannot discount Baltimore. You just cannot discount Baltimore. And Baltimore has been probably the most solid AFC team. Um, well, no, I guess Kansas City since week one because Kansas City's only lost once since then, and Baltimore's lost twice. But they have each looked as good as the other, and so the Dolphins, it's just another loss for them. The Chargers woke up and eked by the Jets, and so but that might have awakened the Jets, and the Jets play Sam's Raiders, so watch out for that. But the Chargers did get a win, and then the Vikings beat the Falcons. The new power rankings: Philly 1, Baltimore. I just mentioned them, right? Number 2, Kansas City 3, Jacksonville 4, Detroit 5, Miami 6, San Francisco 7. Detroit and San Francisco had buys, so that's 5 and 7 that had buys. Jacksonville, the number 4 team in the power rankings, will play versus San Francisco, and we go to Jacksonville. So San Francisco needs a win. Chase Young of the Ohio State University with Nick Bosa is now a 49er with Nick Bosa. So that's just bolstering a defense that is already a top 5 defense in the league and started the first 5 weeks as world beaters, and even really looked good in weeks 6 and 7 also, but just couldn't get those wins. Followed by Dallas at 8, Cincinnati at 9, and Cleveland at 10. You talk about strength of schedule. We're about to play Jacksonville. We've already played Dallas, Cincinnati, Cleveland. we got to play. We're going to play Philly later. Our strength of schedule is pretty tough. So I just want to throw that out there. Notable Week 10 matchups that I haven't already mentioned. Houston on the rise a little bit, 4-4 at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's kind of they've had a couple of wins in a row, but now we'll see if they can maintain that. New Orleans at Minnesota. Cleveland, number 10 in the power rankings, going to Baltimore, number 2 in the power rankings. Detroit is going to go play against those awakened LA Chargers. And then Washington, don't call it a comeback, Washington, 4-5, playing against Seattle, coming off of a loss. So those are your notable Week 10 matchups, my friend. Anything that you want to add before we move on to NCAA football?
Look, I never thought I'd say I'm looking forward to a Detroit Lions LA Chargers game, but I'm actually looking forward to that game because Detroit looks pretty solid this season.
Okay. Well, I mentioned it as a notable matchup for a reason. So there you go, my friend. All right. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to move on to college football. And I am going to share my screen so that we can look at the scores from last week. Just talk about a couple of these results. Always good to see Clemson over Notre Dame. Anybody over Notre Dame? I don't like Notre Dame. I'm cool with their women's basketball, and you'll hear a little bit about that later. But I don't care about their football program. Texas beat Kansas State like they were supposed to. Ohio State over Rutgers. Ole Miss eked by A&M. I mean, eked by. We don't need to talk about Tennessee. Don't call it a comeback. Utah, after a humbling loss, came back and 55-3 over Arizona State. Air Force got worked by Army, so now Air Force will be out
at home at that.
Yeah, which is Colorado Springs. Oh, they play at Mile High. Okay, well their field is in Colorado Springs, but clearly they played at the Denver Broncos Stadium. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
So they should have been prepared for the altitude. I don't get it. They definitely were gassed.
Well, maybe that's what happened to them. They didn't play at home though. You know, that's like 45 minutes away, man. So I don't know. Florida State over Pitt, like that was supposed to happen. Georgia got by Missouri. Oklahoma State over Oklahoma. So I'm pretty sure we're done talking about Oklahoma in the potential CFP. Penn State held on. Tulane barely got by East Carolina. I don't know what was going on there. Oregon put them things on Berkeley. And Washington beat SC. And we lost to Arizona. UCLA lost to Arizona. It was just, I mean, UCLA got worked by Arizona. Let me say it like that. Like, let me say it the whole way. Oregon State held on against Colorado. And Colorado's 4-5, but they got a couple chances to get bowl eligible, and I expect them to. In the shootout, which was 21-21 at halftime, Alabama was too much for LSU in the second half. So Alabama, Alabama remains in that discussion, and LSU absolutely drops out. Go ahead. I was going to go to the CFP rankings, but go ahead.
No, I agree. LSU, I think the wind is out. The wind is out of that sail. I don't think LSU is going to do too much now.
Well, there you go. All right. So here are the latest rankings dropped yesterday. So Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, same. Washington, Oregon, same. Again, as I pointed out before, if Washington controls its own destiny, even though it's fifth, because if it wins out, it's going to go into the top four because Michigan and Ohio State would likely play in the Big Ten championship game. Okay, so Washington controls its own destiny. You could likely say the same thing for Oregon, unless it's Michigan over Ohio State, then you might have Ohio State still be over Oregon if Oregon finished with just the one loss. But rounding out the top 10, Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss, and Penn State. How's this for a slap in the face? Arizona, unranked Arizona beat UCLA, beat number 19 UCLA, and now UCLA is out and Arizona is 21.
21.
They really, I mean, it was a bad loss. Arizona beat the brakes off of us, but UCLA wasn't respected all season, and we can't even talk about my Hurricanes. Just I don't know. We can compete with Florida State, but will we? You just don't know what team. I don't know. I'm not impressed with the coaching. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not impressed with the coaching. All right. Matchups for next week or this week. Matchups for
all right. So some marquee matchups. What do we have? Let's see. As mentioned, Florida State, number 4 Florida State was undefeated against Miami, who's 6-3. Michigan, number 3 Michigan, who's undefeated against number 10 Penn State at Penn State. You have number 8 Alabama, 8-1 at Kentucky. Kentucky is 6-3. Alabama usually has close calls, but manages to prevail at the end. So I'm expecting that same outcome for them. In Pac-12 action, number 18 Utah, 7-2 at Washington, who remains undefeated at number 5. And then number 2, Georgia hosts Ole Miss, who's ranked number 9. And then the upset, you're hearing it here. I'm saying that number 21 Arizona will be defeated by Colorado. Colorado hosts Arizona, and Colorado's been down as of recent, but I think Colorado will once again have another shootout, and I think they're going to beat Arizona.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that Colorado is primed for a win. Pun intended. No pun intended, actually, but I guess I'm that nice. And I'm nice. But Arizona played above their heads against UCLA. I think they'll come back down to earth against Colorado. They're better than Colorado, but I think Colorado's better than its record. So Colorado will get that win. I agree. You already mentioned Ole Miss and Georgia, but that's a top 10 matchup. That's important. One loss against one loss against undefeated. Now SC is reeling, but SC is always primed to get one. But this is a night game in Oregon. It's tough to win in Oregon. It's tough to win at Utah at night. But there it is. We'll see what happens. Obviously, I don't want SC to win ever, but we'll see what happens. And because we are no longer in the top 25, I couldn't even tell you who we play because we don't even matter right now because we lost to Arizona. Ain't that about nothing? Primetime game on Thursday.
UCLA plays Arizona State. You guys host Arizona State. There you go.
Okay. Well, Arizona State spent plenty of time in the top 25, so we'll see what happens. But so did we, and now we're both out. All right. So Virginia at Louisville tomorrow, battling against Thursday Night Football. Cool. All right. That takes us to. Dang, we are rolling, man. We have the association here, but I didn't put anything. Do you have anything? You want to go with standings or something?
Yeah, if we're talking about our beloved Lakers, we definitely don't have anything because they just really caught an L. Compliments of the Rockets and lost by more than 30. So there you go. So we can go ahead. Yeah, it was ugly.
James Harden went back to the Rockets?
He might as well because they got cooked. I'll say that much, man. It was cooked. Terrible.
The geese got cooked.
Look, when Hachimura is the leading scorer for the Lakers with 24, that's a telltale sign that things were tough.
Wow.
Yeah, brother.
He said telltale.
34 point beatdown.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
meanwhile, in the Eastern Conference, in the Eastern Conference, Philadelphia Sans Sans no D, so I'm not talking to Sam. Sans, in his association. That's what I mean. I don't mean me with Sam. I mean Sam. A word Sam. That's what I mean. To be clear, Sans James Harden. Philly leads the East 6-1. 6-1, having won 6 in a row after that opening loss with James Harden being a distraction. All right, the
And a
Clippers,
notable win tonight against the Celtics, who the Sixers struggle with most of the time. They beat the Celtics.
they beat the Celtics. All right, cool.
Yes.
Now, on the other side of town, Golden State was leading the West, but they dropped one recently, so now they're third, 6-2. I can't even find the Lakers. What are they? 15th? No, they're 11th. So right now, if the season ended today, the Lakers wouldn't even be in that play-in tournament that you guys all hate anyway. So they're right where they belong at 11. But it's early. Anthony Davis, what's the injury update? Did he trip over another feather?
I knew you were going there, and just when you need him, he's not there. That's what I can say.
Well,
Yeah.
I need Anthony Davis. 4 words I've never said. All right, so Denver Nuggets, Dallas Mavericks, Golden State Warriors, Minnesota Timberwolves. Staying relevant. Now let's see. The LA County Trio in Clipperland, 3-4 with a 3-game losing streak. Is that 3-game losing streak since he got there?
Yes, and they lost tonight to the Nets by 7, 100-93.
Oh, they're probably gonna lose to all of his throws a
All
dime
those
to
teams.
that broadcaster. That's clowning. That means that it was a
Yeah,
turnover.
he had his stat line was 12 points, 8 boards, 5 assists, and there you go. They
So that
got a
was
nail.
the Nets, right? 193. Let's look at the box score.
Yeah,
Because we have to.
193.
Full box score.
Yes.
Let's see. PG was -7 tonight, even with 24 points. He was pretty much the whole team was ineffective except for PJ Tucker and Kawhi. So clearly they weren't really
Yes.
playing the same minutes. Somehow that doesn't make sense.
Because the beard
All
was
right.
-15. Jeez.
So basically, as much as y'all hate Russ, not you, but he was the second best in the starting lineup from a plus minus perspective. I just want to say, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
What was his stat line? One turn,
Russ was
8-1,
yeah.
8-1. Don't call it a comeback. 8 assists to 1 turnover for Russ with 7 rebounds. He shot a lot, 6 of 18. That's not great, but he passed a lot, and people scored when he passed. And his field goal percentage wasn't as bad as Paul George. Paul George, 7 of 20. That's just unacceptable. 2 of 10 from 3. At what point do you stop shooting?
Apparently never.
Okay. Yeah, 20% for George. Westbrook was also 20% at 1 of 5. James Harden was 2 of 5. James Harden had a decent field goal percentage, right? He was 44%.
Yeah, 4 of 9.
So this is how many turnovers? But 5 turnovers to 5 assists. That's a 1-to-1 ratio. That's not going to work. But if you just look at the stat line, 12 points, 5 assists, 8 boards, that might be something you like from him if those turnovers cut down, especially in that 7-point game, right? All right. We don't have to stay there. Do we want to do this? Any notable matchups coming up in the association? I'm not ready.
Notable.
I'm not ready to watch basketball, man. Are you?
No, there's it might be a fun game tomorrow night, the Bucks at Pacers, because the Pacers have been scoring a lot of points, but I think the Bucks should be okay. But outside of that, it's just 2 games tomorrow, and then Hawks at Magic.
Yeah. So to his point, only 2 games tomorrow. So let's mention both of them, and then I don't know, just for kicks, let's mention the ESPN games for Friday: Brooklyn at Boston, and the Los Angeles Lakers at Phoenix. So that's a battle of non-playoff teams currently.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brooklyn and Boston. Wait, is Phoenix? Well, Phoenix is not. I mean, I don't. Phoenix is in the play-in right now at 9, but they're not like good or anything. Um,
Yeah, and it's so early, man. It's hard to
yeah,
say just yet.
it's early.
Yeah.
It is early. You're
Yeah.
right about it. All right. So look, man, people found us again.
They
Um,
found us. We're back.
yeah. So they're now we can see where they're coming from. So they're watching on Sam's Facebook. Excellent. That's a new feature. That's helpful.
Oh,
Thank you to
nice.
those who have tuned in, especially to the remix of episode 124 because we dropped, came back. So thank you for finding us. We really do appreciate that. I believe that now that we hit NBA, we're going into NCAA women. Let's look at the top 25 real quick, just so you guys can see how we started the season. And I say we because not only am I a women's basketball fan, but I work women's basketball. I
And what are we? We are the collective. So we speak
yeah,
as a collective. There we
yes we
go.
do. The Collective Podcast. All right, so this is your top 25 to start the season. Louisiana State University started off as the number 1 team. That'll change next week. The University of Connecticut, the number 2 team. University of Iowa 3, and the Bruins number 4. Utah 5, South Carolina 6, Ohio State, Virginia Tech, Indiana, Notre Dame. I'm gonna throw in Tennessee for good measure because shout out to Tennessee always. Go Lady Vols. All right, so that's how we started. Fair, fair.
Fair enough.
All right. Now, from a results perspective, this is what happened on day 1. We had Colorado, the number 20 team in the nation, mollywop Louisiana State University, 92 to
Beat
78.
down.
Yeah.
There we
So
go.
LSU, for good measure, LSU had 13 assists and 19 turnovers. So we talk about that ratio. You definitely don't want to be on the minus side of the ratio. So Colorado, 24 assists, 21 turnovers. It's only +3 in their ratio, but they were +11 in assists and -2 in turnovers. So overall, they were a net +9 in assist to turnover ratio. That'll get it done, as Mark Jackson would say. That'll get it done. Um, I'm going in order of the rankings. Number 4, UCLA. Just beat the brakes off of Purdue University. You talk about playing against the Boilermakers. All they did was just make boilers. They just made them. They put them on them. Lauren Betts, Stanford transfer, 20 points on 81% shooting, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks. The little homie London Jones, who I officiated in high school, 20 points on 5 made 3-point field goals. Kiki Rice, the young legend, the future, 10 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds. Charisma, no, 5 steals. 5 steals. No, it was rebounds. Charisma Osborne, 11 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. Nice. South Carolina starting the season off at number 6. That's an unfamiliar place for them. They're usually starting off at 1 or at 2, but because they lost in the national semifinal and because UCLA got better, they automatically put Iowa higher because they made it to the final and returned starters. And of course, LSU defending champs, and they added to their roster. So South Carolina, they had to play number 10 Notre Dame in Paris, France. Samuel,
Oh, yes.
by all accounts, both teams showed up because Notre Dame led much of the first half. Hannah Hidalgo is the truth for Notre Dame, freshman. She's a beast. Beast. However, 100 to 71 is your result. Dawn Staley coached them up. 100 to 71. Fellow freshman, Malaysia Fulwiley, 17 points, 6 assists, 6 steals. Listen to what I'm saying. 17 points, 6 assists, 6 steals off the bench for South Carolina. And I want to
As a
show you
freshman.
as a freshman. So what I want to do is I want to show you guys 2 plays real quick.
So is it fair to say that both teams showed up, but one of those teams showed out?
Yes, that is fair to say. That is fair to say. Both teams showed up. One team showed out. Sam, you should probably coin that phrase. Both teams showed up. One team showed out. But without the sound effects. All right, so that's not getting any bigger. So hopefully you guys can see it. I haven't shared it yet, but I'm about to. So I know that you don't see it yet. So here we go. Share screen. South Carolina. I'm going to show you 2 clips. So this is the first clip. So she will be the one with the basketball. Well, they're going to pass it to her. Nope. This clip starts with her already having it. But she made an amazing catch of the pass to start this dribble drive.
Can you maximize that at all or no?
15 for a double.
Hold on.
To your right. Yeah, let's see. There we go.
All right. That's fair. Okay. So she is, can you see this when I'm doing this?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right. She is this player right here. This was the inbound to her, and she, the defender, tipped this pass. And this is off of a made field goal. So you see this. This is here's her doggo. The one who I told you guys is the truth. This is her back here. All right. So full Wiley with a full head of steam.
From full Wiley. 15 for a double.
Around the back, and with the scoop, with the perfect English on it. Yeah, run that back one more time, man. We got to see that again. Full Wiley was on full stride. Get some.
Stay on your feet, defender. Stay on your feet. What?
She looked like she was at the Rucker with that.
What?
Yeah.
So as soon as that happened, you got Magic Johnson tweeting about it. You got Kevin Durant tweeting about it, and others. But those are the notable ones. Here's another one.
Look, imagine what the point guard was thinking, what her coach was thinking.
Yes.
Because that was Don Staley-esque.
It was Don Staley-esque. Okay, I don't want to go full screen. So what I have to do is I have to pull this out and then hit the arrow for Sam. Nope, I don't want to go full. Do I have to go here? Hold on, y'all. I'm about to get to you. I'm just trying to go a little bit. See, it wants to stretch all the way, man. I don't know why it's doing that to me. All right, you could probably see this one a little. Oh, there it is. I popped it out. Bang! Now just make sure I can share it. Because if I can share it, then I could carry it. But I don't know if I can share it. Let's see. So it's there, but I don't know what it's called. Oh, can I? Nah, that's going to be the wrong thing. Okay, so this one I can't make bigger, Sam. So that's not ideal. Let me try it. I don't think it's going to work. Nah, because it popped out, so you can't even see it. So
right, it's blurry there. All right, we'll have to catch that one on the next go around.
Well, no, it's here. I just can't make it big.
Okay.
Pow.
Yeah, we could follow that.
Wiley back into the game.
Oh, the dime.
The dime.
For the finish.
So that was the no look through traffic Magic Johnson-esque dime to Tahina Pow, who was an Oregon transfer to South Carolina. And so I told you Malaysia, full Wiley's line. Tahina Pow had 14 points, 6 assists, 3 steals. Camila Cardoso, who was the new center for them for South Carolina. She was already on the team, but now she takes over. And she had 20 points, 15 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Efficient. And she shot 70%. So it was one of those.
Yeah, talk about a great day at the office. Yeah, she got it in.
All right, number one player in the land, number one recruit in the land, actually chose SC. And you know, you gotta and on the one hand, you gotta love that for the Pac-12, but then now the Pac-12 is going away, so let's just love it for LA. You know, even though we got UCLA will be battling her twice a year at least for her career. Juju Watkins is the truth, and SC number 21 SC beat number 7 Ohio State 83-74. 83-74. And she put on a show. She had 32 points as a freshman starter. 32 points. Did you get a chance to see any of Juju Watkins, my friend?
Man, I think that game I watched maybe 2 plays and then I was out for the count.
Okay.
But no, Juju, as you said, she got it in. Anytime you can have your debut and you score 30 points, yeah, that's no joke.
Yeah. So day one results. We'll have a more comprehensive list of the first week of action next Saturday or maybe the first 2 weeks of action next Saturday when we come back on. We'll also have the new rankings. But for now, let's share the men's rankings to start the season. Kansas, Duke, Purdue, Michigan State, Marquette. I mean, Marquette had a great season, but just seeing Marquette start off in the top, really in the top 10, but especially in the top 5, that's big. That's old Big East flavor, right? Having Marquette be so relevant, right?
Both on the women's and men's side, relevant.
Both on the women's and so on the women's side, it's new. Being relevant again on the men's side is special, and then having them both together is even more special. So shout out to Sam, tongue twister, but I got it in, for pointing that out. That is special. Followed by Houston, Creighton. I mean, look at the Big East has 3 in the top 8.
Some parity. Creighton is relevant, men and women's basketball. So there's something in the water there in Omaha.
Well, I mean, so let's back up, because obviously we expect Connecticut to be relevant in both. And so number 2 on the women's side and number 6 on the men's side, bang, bang. You have the same thing with us. Where are the men? Damn. Oh, wait. Oh, well, maybe not. Maybe we're not relevant because we're ranked 28 on the men's side. That's a switch, because UCLA men have been up there. But yeah, I guess with Tiger gone and Jaime Jaquez gone. Okay. Well, let's round this out. That's disappointing. I didn't even look at it. Tennessee, Florida Atlantic. Wow. From the American. Go ahead, FAU. Followed by Gonzaga, number 11, Arizona in the Pac-12. My Hurricanes, Arkansas, Texas A&M, Kentucky. Okay, Mountain West, San Diego State, Texas, UNC. That's low. I mean, I'm saying low, relatively speaking. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm sure it's right. Baylor, fall from grace. SC coming in at 21 on the men's and women's side. That's huge for Southern Cal. That's huge. Again, Big East, Villanova, the old school Big East, very relevant to start this season. Alabama, Illinois. All right, so shout out to the men. Shout out to the men for just showing up. Shout out to y'all for showing up.
And although they're not ranked, man, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my Seton Hall Pirates, who got out with a W against St. Peter's. And that was a home game to see the Pirates. A player that you should look out for our listeners and viewers is Kadari Richmond, starting point guard, 6'6" point guard from Brooklyn. He's a senior, Kadari Richmond. So check him out. Disciplined player, big body, plays with his back to the basket, big hands, and he gets it in. So, shout out to the Pirates. Next up, Fairleigh Dickinson University this weekend.
Oh.
New SG Trilogy.
Oh.
New SG Trilogy.
I think we got
New SG Trilogy.
4 times.
New SG Trilogy.
All right. Shout out to SG Trilogy. So here's my question, Sam. Now what? Where are we now? I did what you asked me to do, so you just let me know when you're ready to press that button or those buttons.
Man, this is what I want to do. And we should have started off the show with this because this was breaking news maybe a couple of hours
New
ago.
Collective Podcast.
So let's go to the culture real quick.
Okay.
And as it pertains to culture, man, SAG-AFTRA has reached a tentative agreement with the studios. And so who spoke passionately about the strike, about what the members of SAG-AFTRA were working towards or working for, and they wanted to be paid and compensated fairly. So I'm happy to hear that this tentative agreement has been reached, so that creatives that put together so many great programs and films that we've all come to know and love will be able to get back to work and do what they enjoy. And in essence, we'll be able to benefit from what they enjoy doing. So, yes, glad to hear that's coming together.
All right. All right. So then that takes us to...
This is Tech Talk Now.
Boom! Yes!
Let's do that again.
This is Tech Talk Now.
All right. So that's how Sam wanted us to come now for
AC
Talk
from
Now.
LA.
All right, let's get it, baby. So welcome to another enlightening episode of Tech Talk Now, presented by the Collective Podcast. I'm your host of Tech Talk Now, AC from LA, and tonight we're delving headfirst into a crucial topic that concerns us all: digital identity theft and how to battle against it. Whether you're a tech-savvy individual or just getting started in the digital world, this is packed with essential information to protect your online identity. Let's begin by understanding your enemy. Digital identity theft is like a modern-day heist where cyber criminals steal your personal information, such as your social security number, financial details, or login credentials. They can use this information to commit fraud, drain your bank accounts, or impersonate you online. The consequences of digital identity theft can be devastating. Imagine waking up to find your bank accounts emptied, your credit ruined, or your reputation tarnished. It's not a pleasant scenario, but by being aware and proactive, you can prevent these nightmares from becoming a reality. So how does digital identity theft occur? Cyber criminals use various tactics. They send phishing emails that look legitimate, tricking you into revealing sensitive information. Data breaches are another common method where hackers breach organizations' databases, exposing your personal data. Social engineering is a more psychological approach, as scammers use manipulation to deceive you into giving up personal information. Now, let's talk about how you can protect your digital identity. Here are some simple yet effective steps you can take. First, use strong, unique passwords for different accounts, and consider using a password manager to help you generate and store complex passwords securely. I'm not being endorsed for this, but I am endorsing. I'm not being sponsored by this, but I am endorsing 1Password. I've been using it's the number one in the word password. I've been using them since their inception, and I use it on all of my devices, and it's amazing. So, but just get some kind of password manager. Further, enabling multi-factor authentication, or MFA, whenever possible, adds an extra layer of security to your accounts. Be cautious when opening emails or clicking on links, especially if they seem suspicious. Regularly monitoring your financial accounts and credit reports for any unusual activity can help you detect identity theft early. For those seeking advanced protection, consider identity theft protection services that can help monitor your credit and alert you to any suspicious activity. We can help you with that at Recon Credit Repair. I'm just saying. You can also freeze your credit with credit bureaus to prevent anyone from opening new accounts in your name. However, when you do that, it makes it a lot more difficult for you to open accounts on your own credit. So that's always tough, but it is an option. Installing reputable antivirus and anti-malware software on your devices can protect you against digital threats. But if you rock with Apple, you don't need any of that. Okay, I'm just saying. In case you suspect you've fallen victim to digital identity theft, here's what you should do immediately. Contact your bank and credit card companies to report any unauthorized transactions. File a police report to document the crime with your local law enforcement. Notify the major credit bureaus to place fraud alerts on your accounts. And don't forget to file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, at identitytheft.gov. Staying informed is your best defense against digital identity theft. Keep up with the latest cybersecurity news, follow best practices, and educate your friends and family to ensure they stay safe too. As we conclude this episode of Tech Talk Now, remember that safeguarding your digital identity is an ongoing process. By taking proactive steps and staying vigilant, you can reduce the risk of falling victim to digital identity theft. Thanks for joining us on Tech Talk Now. Stay safe, stay secure, and stay informed.
This is Tech
Great
Talk Now.
comprehensive report.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sam. I'm glad that it resonated with you, and hopefully it resonates with the audience, with our viewers and our listeners. So, yeah. Man, listen, man, it's 9:56 Central, 7:56 Pacific, and we covered everything. You have anything you want to add?
Man, I think we met the mark. Look, we 4 days removed from our last show, man. We met the mark for our midweek showdown.
We met the mark. That's what's up. Let me before we go to the closeout, let me play the homie. I know when to stop it. I gotta keep saying that.
Loyalty ain't just when it's convenient. Like, loyalty ain't when it's convenient. That's why I said what I said. People scream loyalty and loyalty and loyalty, but if he didn't give you that bag, he didn't create that opportunity, would you still be loyal to him? You probably wouldn't. You know what I mean? But it's convenient for you at that time to do so you gonna play your part and play your position.
Boom. Got it. I think you may trust me now. I don't know what I was trying to play. I was playing Cube. Yeah, that was
Yes.
bad. That was
Yeah,
bad.
last week it was a couple of snafus.
That was bad. Sam looks so disappointed. He don't even hide his disappointment. What kind of brother is that?
My visible display of disdain. That's what it was.
All right, man. I don't know about you, but this was fun. I think we should.
New SG Trilogy.
Get ready for the closeout.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
New SG Trilogy.
Close out.
All right. So as we close out episode 124, and this one just came to me literally in real time. So looking at the NBA, as we talk about an 82 game season, and we talk about, teams that are struggling out of the gate, or even those teams that are excelling out of the gate, in life, you need to be in it for the long game. Meaning, if you struggle initially with what you're working on, don't let that frustrate you. Continue to go for it. Continue to incorporate good habits, and those good habits will become great habits. So I'm saying this to just make sure that you remain encouraged in all that you're doing, and realize that your race is different than anyone else's race, because you're only competing with yourself at the end of the day.
Wow. Thank you, Sam. I feel inspired. I feel like you're going to help me with my race. And I'm actually not joking about that.
New SG Trilogy.
I think that was
New SG Trilogy.
You dropped a gem right there. So that was dope. Yeah, so for me, I'm gonna close out now. So
Get ready for the closeout.
New AC from LA.
So I I always come to you guys with, love on your people. And so that hasn't changed. Please do love on your people and let them know that you love them. But also try something different the next time you have a disagreement. Try to go down the path of, if you can't find common ground, agreeing to disagree. Also work toward not needing to have the last word. Both parties can't have the last word. Only one can. So if you find it within yourself to let them have the last word, I promise you, you'll have a more pleasant disposition. And maybe they will too. Just something to shoot for. Not saying you have to do it all the time, but I'm going to tell you, you are able to protect your own peace and invite people not to invade your peace, life is a lot better. I just want to throw that at you. So again, love on your people. Let your people know they are loved. Hug whoever you can hug that you love. Kiss whoever you can kiss that you love. Also, it's okay to come to the realization that you've outgrown someone. It's okay. It happens all the time, and you don't have to feel bad about it. And you also don't have to prolong that relationship just because they have a certain title that means something. So just throwing that at you. As always, we appreciate you guys for coming through to the Collective Podcast. This was episode 124 of the Collective Podcast. He is
New SG Trilogy.
I am
AC from LA.
AC from LA. And together we are
New Collective Podcast.
We are the Collective Podcast. And I appreciate this brother so much. This was a short week. And you know what? It's interesting. I guess it's the same. I've said this before. Like when NFL teams play on Sunday and Thursday, that's the same kind of short week we had because we did Saturday, Wednesday. But now we have that same 11-day situation. No, 10-day situation where we'll be back up on the 18th. So we'll be back up on the 18th for episode 125 of the Collective Podcast. Woo. And that'll be at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. How are you guys adjusting to the time change?
This time change is... What'd you say?
Is it darker out there earlier like it is here?
Yes, it's darker. It's darker earlier. But it's an adjustment because I've never lived in Central. And so I've, the majority of my life, I've been in Eastern. And so now it's like that adjustment is like, it's a lot different, but gotten kind of getting used to it still, but it's different.
Okay. Atlanta's Eastern?
Yeah. Atlanta's Eastern.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
then, Jersey, Philly. Yeah. So absolutely. Eastern was the majority. Yeah. More than half my life seems like on the East Coast now.
Wow. Now you're in Central Time. We need to give you some applause for that.
Been everywhere, brother.
There you go. Shout out to you. All right, man. Well, listen, this was episode 125 of the Collective Podcast. We appreciate you coming through. Hey, Sam, hopefully these 10 days will give me my Facebook rights back. I don't know what's going on, but last time it was 7 days. I don't know. I think it might be the outreach that Cherry Pie is doing for me, my VA. So.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I probably need to shut that Facebook outreach down, and we'll see. But thank you for coming through. We love y'all. Please like us individually. I know you already do, but press the button. Please like the podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast. Please watch the podcast. Please listen to the podcast. Please make comments and share the podcast. We don't ask for much.
Yes.
But
tell a friend to tell a friend.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. We do appreciate you. And we are out of here.
Let us pray.
We are out of here. Episode 125 of the Collective Podcast. I am AC from LA. He is SG Trilogy, and I even know which way to point. We out of here.